Hello everybody, welcome back to the Gaming Lounge. This is SFar, your host, and today we're going to be going over some replays. Currently, I'm at my season highest at 6,307 trophies, which is Masters 2. I'm about 150 trophies off of being top 10k. Last season I finished at 6,626. And the deck I've been using has been a Pekka Bridgespam variation with E-Barbarians instead of Battle Ram and with Dark Prince instead of Magic Archer. Now, the reason why I switched to this deck instead of using Battle Ram and Magic Archer was my Magic Archer kept on getting fireballed almost every game. And my Battle Ram, I mean, it's just really easy to stop Battle Ram. You just do one Elixir Skeletons and log, and there's just so many counters. And right now, everyone's playing Log Bay, everyone's using spam units with the Goblin buff. And so I mean, when I was playing Pekka Bridge Spam, the regular version, I was fighting Log Bait every game. Ever since I switched to this deck, which is an anti-Log Bait deck, I haven't been fighting it. So it's been pretty nice. But I've been fighting mostly, giant graveyards, Bull or Loon. And this deck does a pretty good job against those variations as well. And this deck does a very good job against Elixir Golem, because Elixir Golem got a buff too. And I have been seeing a lot of Elixir Golem. And so that's why I've been using this variation. So he did a massive push. He was playing Giant Graveyard, and he was able to get pretty much a free tower. But I have everything in rotation to get my P.E.K.K.A. to the tower. I was able to zap, and I'm able to poison his witch so that my P.E.K.K.A. could take his tower. So the reason why I did that, I knew it was going to be a tower trade, and the tower trade actually goes in my favor if we take towers pretty early, because it opens the map up for me to play units in the pocket, especially like the bandit and ghost, and able to get damage on his tower. Now this deck that he's using, the giant graveyard deck, it's actually a really strong deck if you know how to use it, and you could push pretty high in ladder, and it's pretty easy to master. It's not too difficult to play. You just have to know how to play the matchups. And I think right now in the current meta, it has pretty good matchups, especially against Logbait. I think it does a pretty good job against Logbait. So this is why I've been using Poison instead of Fireball. Poison will completely counter Graveyard, and so that the skeletons can't even get on the tower. So I think Graveyard for this season, I mean not Graveyard, I think Poison in this season is probably the best way to go. And it's pretty nice because I have Zap, so my Elite Barbarians are able to get onto the tower just fine. I'm going to go ahead and play Ghost, and I'm also going to play the Bandit, and that's going to clean up that. And he's so focused on defending the tower that he forgets about the P.E.K.K.A. and Electric Wizard, and it's just going to 3-crown him. I mean, either way, he was going to lose. He was going to lose his left-hand tower. It didn't really matter what he did. He was going to lose the game. So that was the first game. And then the second game was against this Elite Elixir Golem deck. And usually I hate fighting against Elixir Golem decks. You could be winning the whole entire game, and against an Elixir Golem deck, if you make one mistake, you lose. The whole way to counter the Elixir Golem deck is to not have their battle healer behind the Elixir Golem with the Electric Giant, because the Electric Giant will make it so that the battle healer can never die. And with the Elixir Golem being the tank, the battle healer would keep it alive, and it will keep all the units alive if it stays clumped up, and you can't really do anything if you don't have Rocket. And so it's the whole way to play this matchup is spreading your units out. And the way that he played in the beginning wasn't very good because he wasted his battle healer for some reason. And I'm able to take his tower down with the Bandit and Electric Wizard. The Bandit and Electric Wizard is one of my favorite combos. It's this really strong combo, especially if the Electric Wizard is tanking for the Bandit. Then the Bandit dashes on the tower, and it changes who takes the damage. Um, so this is where it got kind of scary. So I go ahead and play the Ghost, so the Ghost can start DPSing down the Elixir Golem. I have to play the Peck up high so I could kill the Battle Healer. I go ahead and poison that because I know that the Electro Giant's going to take a while to kill the P.E.K.K.A. And I know that the poison is going to get really good value. But even with a Ghost and a Dark Prince, he's going to take the tower with just the Elixir Golem. I mean, I don't really know why they buffed the damage to 15% this patch with it. Elixir Golem it's really been, it has always been a strong card. And now it's just, I mean, like I said, even with a Ghost and Dark Prince, I couldn't even defend the push. And the the Electro Dragon wasn't even on it. Anyways, but I just overwhelmed him with all the elixir I got from the Elixir Golem. I'm able to spam both lanes, and he had no answers. He couldn't do anything about it. So, and this deck actually does really good against Queen Piggies. I know that bridge spam usually loses to Queen Piggies with the Battle Ram, Fireball, or um, Poison minions. I mean, the P.E.K.K.A. Those variations can beat the Queen Piggies, but it's just really hard. You have to be the better player. You have to outplay them and use your elixir wisely. With this deck, it gives you a little bit more freedom to play a beatdown version, because this is definitely a P.E.K.K.A. beatdown version with some bridge spam. Then you have elite barbarians. You do have a lot of bridge spam potential in this deck, but I like to play it as a beatdown deck. Um, so right away I was able to get a dual split lane, and my elite barbarian is just gonna go to town and get the tower all the way to 1400. And so I got pretty good damage on both towers early on, with being able to play the P.E.K.K.A. to counter the Piggies. And so right away, I knew I was going to win this game as long as I didn't throw and as long as I didn't make any mistakes. I had such a good start that I knew that I could just poison cycle if I needed to once it got to double elixir. Um, but I mean, with how big of the lead I had, he does a decent job trying to come back. So I do give him props for putting up a good fight, even though he was behind for so long. So the P.E.K.K.A. goes ahead and takes the tower. He's already saying good game. I had my emotes muted, so I didn't even know he was saying good game. I don't know if it was this game I took it off and I started emoting back, but I guess we're gonna find out. So again, I have the P.E.K.K.A. The P.E.K.K.A. is just gonna counter the piggies. But even though with the P.E.K.K.A. being there to counter the Piggies, he still gets decent damage. He's able to get chip damage every time he plays them, and I think they do about 500 damage, even with the P.E.K.K.A. being there. So if the P.E.K.K.A. wasn't there, it would do so much more damage. I go ahead and poison. It's gonna get the cannon. I really like that the canyon has been nerfed, the health wise. I think it balances the canyon. I think for 3 elixir with how much health it had, it was just overpowered. Now I think Canyon's in a good spot. I think I was really happy with what they did with it. And hopefully they don't make it strong again. I mean, it's still really reliable. It's just not overpowered. You have to use your cannon wisely now. You just can't spam canyons and expect them to defend everything. Um, so I go ahead and I play the Dark Prince and I play the Ghost so that he doesn't get damaged. And like I said, he took the tower. I think it was at 1500 to 600 health in the last like 10 seconds. So good job on him on not giving up. Oh, this guy's almost at 6300. He's 5 trophies away. So I do feel bad because I am the reason why he doesn't get 6300 on this match. He's at 6250. And I was at 6241. And Like I said, this version, it's still a 50-50 when you fight against Loon. I do think I have the advantage in single elixir, and then he has the advantage in double elixir. So it just really depends on how he plays his Loon Freeze versus my Ewis, because with this variation, I don't have Magic Archer. I have to rely on Ewiz to stop the Inferno Dragon and Balloon. Now, he knows that I don't have the Electric Wizard anymore, so I don't know why he just didn't. Well, I know why, because I spammed Elite Barbarians on the left-hand side. But I don't know why he did Baby Dragon. The um, Lumberjack would have been fine. It would have defended the Elite Barbarians fine enough, I believe, because they were pretty low. They weren't pretty low. They were full life, but maybe he had to play Baby Dragon. I don't know. But he has to go ahead and he has to use the Inferno Dragon to clean up the ghost so that it doesn't get massive damage. I'm gonna go ahead and just play the Dark Prince. I don't want to waste Electric Wizard. I know he's playing Loon Freeze, and I knew that I needed to save it if I wanted to do a P.E.K.K.A push anyways, in case if he cycles back to his Inferno Dragon. So I go ahead and I play the P.E.K.K.A. And I think he could have just looned. He could have just looned Lumberjack on my right hand side, but he goes ahead and plays a Bull on the left hand side, and that gives me the opening to spam Elite Barbarians on the right hand side. And he has to just waste Elixir. The reason why I did that is just for him to waste Elixir so that my P.E.K.K.A could get to the bowler. Now was a stupid mistake I did. I played the Electric Wizard, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just waited for him to get closer to the tower. But I'm just gonna keep on spamming the right hand side so he can't really play his balloon, or he can't really do anything to the left hand side with that Inferno Dragon. And so far I've been playing pretty clean. It's been a pretty clean game. The Ghost is gonna take the tower on the left hand side to 1,149. Right now I still got a good lead, but he has a better cycle than I have right now. I don't really have the greatest cycle with him having the Inferno Dragon. And so I know that I have to just let the P.E.K.K.A die, and I know I have to poison for the win, and then I just use the Electric Wizard to clean up. And I got really lucky because he probably would have taken that left-hand tower and the right-hand tower because I didn't have anything to stop that Inferno Dragon. So, I mean, if he would have made it, I mean, he would have won if I didn't take the tower. And so I got pretty lucky at the end. And that's why you need to make sure you get as much damage so that you could win on the very end. And so this last match that got me to 6,300 trophies was against Snipe Show, and he was using Lava Hound deck. Now Lava Hound deck, with me only having the Electric Wizard, should just destroy me. But I go ahead and I play the Bandit on the right hand side as he uses 7 Elixir to play his Lava Hound. Now I've been playing Lava Hound in War, so I've been learning how this deck works. And that's why I went ahead and just did the P.E.K.K.A because I knew that he most likely, I was assuming he didn't have any counters to stop the P.E.K.K.A like his Barbarians or Tombstone, and I was right. He didn't have anything to stop it. And so the P.E.K.K.A is going to get pretty good damage on the King Tower as well. And with me having Poison, I don't know if I needed to zap, but I was really afraid the Balloon was going to get 2 more hits, so that's why I zapped. He goes in ahead and plays his Tombstone. I play my Dark Prince just to clean it up. The Electric Wizard would have been fine. The Dark Prince was a waste of Elixir. So that was definitely a misplay on my part. And I hate it when they use Elite Barbarian. Not Elite. I hate it when they use Barbarians in Tombstone because those are 2 really hard counters for me just to spam when he plays his Hound. Like right there, he was able to play his Hound, and he was able to get Elixir to stop my push. And Barbarians are very good defensive, so that's why this Lava Hound deck uses them. And so is Tombstone. Tombstone's a really good deck as well. So at this point, I knew I had to 3-crown him. I knew that I couldn't really ever get to his left-hand tower and so I just knew I had to go for the 3 crown. Luckily, he plays his balloon, which was a big mistake because he kind of wastes his elixir right there, and he used his minion instead of Tombstone to stop the Dark Prince, and my Dark Prince was able to get the tower to 1,039 health. So very close to getting the 3 crown. So I go ahead and I play the Pekka, and I play the Bandit, and I'm gonna play a very good Zap. Um, Actually, it wasn't that good of a Zap, but now both of his counters have been used to stop my ground units, and I can just spam the right hand side with Ghost and Dark Prince, and do the poison Zap and get the victory. Now, I'm very lucky that it got down to Zap range because he probably would have won. Not won, but he would have taken that tower at least. And time was getting really close so that if he wasn't low enough for me to spell cycle, he probably would have came back and won with that last push. But luckily I was able to get the zap and I was able to get the victory. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are having a good season. It's been a really tough season. This deck that I'm using right now has made it so that I went from 6,100 trophies to 6,300. So I just pushed about 200 trophies today with this deck. I was using other variations of Bird Spam. I was trying to use the original version of Battle Ram, Fireball, Magic Archer, but I was just fighting so much log bait that I had to switch to an anti-log bait deck, and now I'm not fighting log bait, but this deck does very good against other decks in the meta right now. So if you guys are having a hard time with Pekka Bridge Spam, I recommend using the one I'm using right now, and hopefully I'm able to push higher with this deck. But until next video, keep on clashing.